This is Arise America.
And former President Donald Trump is anxiously mulling when exactly he should announce a presidential run for the 2024, a decision that has become even more pressing as he tries to reclaim control of his image following a spate of damaging revelations by the House Select Committee investigating his role in January 6, 2021. Over the past week, Trump told associates he's eager to launch another presidential campaign as early as this month to capitalize on President Joe Biden's increasingly dismal poll numbers. But his desire to expedite the campaign announcements grew even deeper after former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson raised serious questions in a televised congressional hearing this week about Trump's behavior during the final months of his first term. Some Trump allies have privately admitted that the House committee's public hearings have proven more damaging than expected.
Few operatives to some of these would-be Republican presidential candidates. And they note, and it bears out in some polls, that the former president's popularity has been declining among Republicans, since before all of this explosive testimony. So this testimony that's coming out of Washington, a lot of the people that I talk to don't believe it. They're skeptical about it. They don't trust it. But their reasons for saying that Trump may not be the candidate that they back is that they wonder if he can still win.
Well, from on this story is Arise U.S. correspondent Rotimi, Kade, who joins me now. Rotimi, thank you for joining me. Now, Trump is considering early 2024 announcement amid escalating investigation on his role in the January 6 attack. Is this a case of being overambitious, or are there any convictions about his return to the White House?
Well, first of all, there's no conviction in sight for the former president because the January 6th Select Committee, they're still doing the investigation. From what we've seen last week, the investigation is going a little bit much more deeper than what we had known before, more especially when, Cassidy Hutchinson testified some very backstory of what transpired during the January 6th election, which took everyone by surprise. So conviction against the former president is still really a long shot as we speak. But the committee can expedite that in a couple of weeks from now. And perhaps maybe that could be a thing that will nail the coffin in the political ambition of the former president. Having said that, we all know that since January 2020, when the former president actually lost the elections, we know that he would definitely contest for the 2024. Though he's been testing the waters for the past 2 years of this administration, but from the poll numbers of President Biden, which of course have been tanking for, the past couple of weeks, thanks to the inflation, thanks also to the higher gas prices and the food prices, then there's a high possibility that Republicans might just be looking at the loopholes in this administration, and Trump is still the favorite to actually clinch that ticket, even though Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is in the offing as an alternative to Trump, following some of the revelations that we've seen in the committee's work in the last few weeks. But in a nutshell, I think the former President Trump, has a high possibility, still within the Republican Party, to actually clinch that ticket. But on the public view, would he be able to win the election even against a quote unquote a weakened Biden presidency? That's really a big question.
Well, so much has been coming out of this investigative hearing, but how much damage do you think that this House committee hearing may have done to Trump's 2024 ambition?
Well, I mean, some political analysts feel that this is actually the end of an era of Trump looking at what we've been seeing in the past, couple of weeks, the testimonies from the witnesses who were part of the administration, and more particularly, people that were within the cabinet, the kitchen cabinet of the president, which means the people that are closer to the president on the day-to-day activities, and especially January 6th, insurrection of the Capitol Hill. You would want to say that the damage is being done almost on a daily basis. The vast majority of Republicans who will support Trump through thick and thin are now beginning to reconsider their stance against the former president. There's a recent poll that actually went viral, and the poll actually was in favor of the former president not contesting, and also the current president not contesting. So Americans actually want something new from the past, and but I think by and large what we've seen so far is that this January 6th committee may just really be the hamburger of the Trump's presidency, if he has any intention to actually come back to recontest for the 2024 elections.
Well, Rotimi, just before I let you go, what are the prospects of a prosecution for Trump, going by most of the revelations that have come out from this hearing?
Well, the prospects are very thin. What the committee is basically trying to do is just to narrow down some of these testimonies and evidence they've gathered so far on the former president, but it's still a long shot, and they've not been able to reach that conclusion. The former president is also, very consistent with, injunctions, court injunctions, and what have you, in a way to stave off any threats or any subpoenas from the committee. But people who are working with the president, including the president's immediate family and daughter, Ivanka Trump, testified, and that could really be the closest they have gotten to the president. But we don't know whether the committee still has the power to actually subpoena the president to come witness, to come, testify. But I think as developments, as this develops, I think it's going to be something that is going to be noble in going forward to see whether the former president can come in front of Congress to kind of testify.
All right, Rotimi, we're going to have to leave the conversation at this point. Thank you very much indeed for joining me on the program.
This is Arise America.